So, some of us make choices. I think it's not a biggest choice for others. I'm saying at the end of the day, Kevin doesn't have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress wearing people before him. So now we have Big Mama's house 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
I've never seen Medea in a pantsuit. I think she wears dresses. So now I'm saying, why are we picking on poor little Kevin Hart? Because it was his turn next.
This man has been cleared of any allegations, period. They investigated the situation. It looked like it wasn't anything at all. But then you have Harvey Weinstein, on the other hand, who is even paying out his victims at this particular time. And Oprah is not doing or highlighting anything about Harvey Weinstein. And he pretty much assaulted everybody in Hollywood, it seems.
Let me just say this about Spike, anybody else, all the critics, anybody else. It's only black people that do this to each other. I have never seen Jewish people complaining about Seinfeld. I've never seen Italian people complaining about The Sopranos. It's only us as Negroes that do this to each other. And I can't fix it. Booker T. Washington and W.E.B. Du Bois.
Katt Williams has made it his mission to expose creeps in the industry, and he has recently turned his SS on Oprah and Tyler Perry, accusing them of having a sinister agenda against black actors. Oprah and her buddy Tyler are not strangers to accusations like this, but it seems to be getting out of hand now, and people are demanding that they are held accountable. Several celebrities like 50 Cent, Ludacris, Dave Chappelle, Monique, and so on have called out Oprah and Tyler Perry for acting against the interests of black entertainers. The pair have been accused of setting black actors up for embarrassment, lowballing, and blacklisting rather than using their positions to uplift the black community. But what's crazy is that despite the outcry against them, Oprah and Tyler Perry have never tried to appear remorseful or repentant. They act like they're untouchable, and Katt Williams is not having that. Whistleblowers in the industry like Katt have often been labeled as jealous, bitter, angry, or even crazy, but that has not stopped him from speaking for what he believes is right. So what exactly does Katt have to say about Oprah and Tyler Perry? Do they have a sinister agenda against black actors? Let's find out.
I would say, Oprah Winfrey, you know what you need to do, and stop hiding behind what you call was negative comments, what you call, oh, I don't even deal with things like that, because what people are beginning to do is see you for who you are.
If we know anything about Katt Williams, it is the fact that he doesn't stand for nonsense, especially when it involves Hollywood. That's why he has been calling out Oprah and Tyler Perry for their shady plots to undermine the careers of black actors, and one person who knows all too well what it means to be on the receiving end of Oprah's sinister agenda against black actors is Monique. For context, back in 2009, Monique was scheduled to do a press tour for the movie Precious, which was co-produced by Oprah and Tyler Perry. The plan was to do the press tour ahead of the Oscars to take advantage of the hype surrounding Monique's Oscar nomination. But they weren't going to pay her for the tour, and on top of that, she was exhausted from the filming of the movie, so she told Oprah and Tyler Perry that she would rather stay home with her family for some recovery time. It seemed pretty straightforward, and everyone seemed happy with that decision. To Monique's greatest surprise, a few weeks later, she started seeing stories in the media about how she was difficult to work with. From that point, nobody wanted to put her in a movie or show, no matter how hard she was willing to work. Never mind that she even won the Office Oscars for her role in Precious, which should have sent her career flying. Seeing all her hard work being flushed down the drain made Monique start connecting the dots and realizing that someone was trying to bring her down. She even told The Hollywood Reporter in a recent interview that at Precious, director Lee Daniels admitted that she was blackballed because she didn't play the game. Monique also demanded an apology from Oprah and Tyler Perry, which as far as we know she is yet to receive, but this embarrassing and hurt experience is nothing compared to how Oprah took advantage of Monique's vulnerability. A few months after the press tour incident, Monique told Comedy Central that one of the things that soured her relationship with Oprah was how Oprah invited Monique's brother Gerald and her parents to her show. For context, Monique's brother essayed her when she was 7 to 11. Now, this has never been a secret, as Monique had previously talked about it in a 2008 interview with Accusations, but according to Monique, she and Oprah had an intimate conversation once. Discussing their relationships with their parents, Monique confided in Oprah that she and her parents weren't on speaking terms because of the CI, and that her parents initially sided with her brother.
Where Oprah Winfrey and I have a problem is Oprah Winfrey called us up and she said my brother wanted to come on the show and talk about him molesting me, and he wanted to tell other parents how to look out for molesters. My brother Gerald is a charmer. So my mind thought was, because she said, do you want to come on? I said, I don't want nothing to do with that cat. I said, nigga, I know it's up to a scam, but people can change. And who am I to say he hasn't changed? It might really be different. So I don't want to get in the way of that. I just don't want nothing to do with it. She said, if you don't want me to have your brother on the show, I will cancel the show. No show will happen. But I wanted to call you up to see how you felt first. When I hung up that phone, brother, I looked at my husband, I said, that bitch is all right with me. That's a real.
She kept it
because she didn't have to call me up. She didn't have to say my brother was coming. She could have just ran with the shit and let it happen. I dig her for that.
So, although Monique had no problem with Oprah inviting Gerald to the show, she said she didn't want to be a part of it, but after everything she had told Oprah, Monique was so dumbfounded to see commercials from the taping that showed her brothers and her parents. She said Oprah completely blindsided her with her decision to bring all of Monique's family to the show. This is after Oprah pretended to be caring by saying she wouldn't bring Gerald to the show if Monique didn't want it.
Now I begin to see commercials with my brother, my mother, my father, and my other brother. Now the reason why that means so much is because in the conversation we had about my brother, we then went deeper. And we began to talk about our relationships with our mothers and our fathers. And I shared my relationship with her about my mother, as she shared hers with me, which I will never repeat because she shared it with me about her mother and father. It might be something she shared with everybody, but wanted to make me feel special. I don't know. Nonetheless, it was in our moment. I shared with her that me and my mother was not talking. I shared with her we were in a really bad place. I shared with her I was hurt and, trying to figure this thing out. She never said my mother was coming on that show, because had Oprah Winfrey said, I'm gonna have your mother, I would have said, shut it down. I don't need the world seeing how greedy my mother is. Shut that down. That's one of the reasons why we don't communicate.
Worst part of all this is that Oprah offered Monique no apology, whether private or public, even after Monique demanded one. I mean, after doing someone dirty like that, the least you can do is try to patch things up with the person, but Monique is still waiting on that apology today. But Monique is just one out of the many celebrities that Oprah has snaked her way into their lives and taken advantage of their friendship. But many people believe Oprah is not doing all that just to sell her show something. Say she is trying to appeal to a specific audience that can grant her power and access in the industry. 50 Cent, for example, once called Oprah out after she insulted his work by saying his music inspires violence. 50 responded by saying Oprah is like an Oreo cookie, brown on the outside, white on the inside. He called Oprah two-faced, saying she started with black women's views but has been catering to middle-aged white American women's views for so long that she has become one herself. But that's not the only time 50 has called out Oprah. Oprah faced backlash when she announced that she was making a documentary about Russell Simmons' essay allegations, even after he had been cleared of all the charges.